guests, teachers, and administrators. Looking out from where I am right now, I find it quite surreal to see all your faces. Surging through me is a mix of awe, appreciation, and the stark realization that this chapter of my life is now at its apex. If you had asked me 4 years ago if I could have ever imagined myself on a podium giving a speech of my own, I would have shaken my head at the ridiculousness of the very idea. First day of freshman year, I was absolutely terrified. The days passed, and I couldn't have been more lost. I was the epitome of a shy transferee, and it took me quite a while to find myself comfortable in these blue and yellow walls. And while I am still afraid, I'll speak. I wouldn't have arrived here if it were not for the encouragement and support of my parents, who provide me well with not just safety and security, but also an abundance of love and care. I'd like to thank all my friends who have been there for me through my ups and downs, lefts and rights. You must not know how much I cherish each and every one of you. I also extend my gratitude to my teachers and mentors for doling out their knowledge, holding on to their patience, and for directing their students to the best path they know. Without you, I wouldn't be here today. But above all and through it all, I bear witness to the goodness of my Savior, who eases my journey through the storms of life and gives me a rock to light my match upon. Without him, I wouldn't be here today. Without you all, I wouldn't be here today either. I'm standing here today not because I am one of the most intelligent in my class, nor am I one of the most social. I stand here today because I worked hard to earn this position. Intelligence is different from grit. I am not in love with education, but I am passionate about the pursuit of education. And passion, as you know it, is a maelstrom of emotions. In the pursuit of education, there is an unbelievable amount of learning that I had to sustain throughout the educational system. And I have to admit something. I am afraid of becoming a robot. In this evolving system and curriculum, we are challenged to work until the stress gets to us. And I get it. I somehow learned from this. I learned the ropes of prioritizing and putting aside time to study and memorize. But also, I fear that this is all I will be able to do in the end. Memorize, take tests, repeat. I worry that I will lose my passion, and with that, my other passions, like writing as well. If the time comes when I completely break down and lose my bolts, will the system rush to fix me? Or will it leave me a dysfunctional, messy heap on the floor? Well, that's another thing I'm afraid of. I'm afraid I don't know the answer to that. Thank you for being my therapist today. Sir Robinson, an educationalist, once said that the dominant culture of education has come to focus on not teaching and learning, but testing. He talks about standardized tests and how they shouldn't obstruct learning, but instead they should support it. So in place of curiosity, what we have is a culture of compliance. Compliance. Compliance is the foothold of complacency. Compliance breeds ignorance. And in ignorance, there is nothing good, nothing new, nothing worth applauding for. There is nothing wrong with standardized tests. It's just the way we accept them that makes them wrong. There's also nothing bad about qualifications. It's just the way we pursue them that may bring us to a fault. My fellow graduates, I plead you to ask yourselves this. Did I learn something? Or did I just let the days pass in compliance to a mysterious destiny? Did I stare at the writings on the chalkboard without actually comprehending a thing? Did I fight for what is right? Or was I a quiet bystander who mingled with the shadows? In the recent live-action movie Cinderella, the fairy godmother notes that Cinderella sees the world not as how it is, but as how it should be. Some people might argue that Cinderella in itself is a mere fairy tale, a cliched fantasy. But let me tell you that we can learn from ideas, and from there we can change for the better. Fellow graduates, do you not realize that this is the future? Not only that, but also we are the future. We have eyes and ears that can chat what is intolerable. We have minds and hearts to know and to care. Through empathy and compassion, our being has the ability to change into something that can further better the world. Compliance has 10 letters, but so does initiative. And we were born with the ability to change our identities, change our circle of friends, and even change the letters of our names. Isn't that a good enough push to change the way we think? In the latter part of the movie, Cinderella's fairy godmother also says, "To be seen as we truly are is the biggest risk we will ever take." Will we be enough as you really are? Take a leap of faith. The world will not always be in your sight. And sometimes it's hard to see the point in believing in your dreams. But as Cinderella's mother does say, and I quote, "Have courage and be kind. You are enough, so show them that." Never lose the idealism you once had when you were a child. The real world will try to censor your words and blind you from the power of perception and belief. So don't ever stop believing in yourself. You are the captain of your own destiny. No matter how rough the seas get or how many people you lose, with just a show of faith, you can conquer the world. Fellow graduates, I don't want to sound like a literal stage mom, but I am proud of you for getting it this far. Thank you for lending me your ears.